Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Stephanie Stevens Show. Thank you guys so much for embracing the channel and now our new network, Pronoun TV, um, talking about the LGBYT two-spirit pronoun communities, our everyday lives, how we live, how we laugh, how we family, friends, school, work, life. So today on my show, a few weeks ago, I had an interesting conversation with a good friend of mine about she's a lesbian and she's a trans man, and she's was talking about her partner, and she kept referring to her partner as a stud. I think I got that backwards, but I'm sure our guest today will clear that up for us. Today, I invited one of the LGBYT pronoun community members on to talk about what it is to be a trans man, and identify as stud. So please welcome to the show today, Mr. J. Bess. Now, am I pronouncing it right?
J. Perfect.
Okay. Now, how do you identify?
I identify as, most people call me a stud, right? A stud is somebody who looks like me. People think we are guys, but we're really not trying to be a guy. We're not trans. We're not going from female to male or male to female. Trans is in a different category. We live like this, just look like boys, look like guys, or however they want to put it. And most people identify us as studs. They look at us as, girls call me boy, girl. They call me a tomboy. But being a stud is like how I look.
Okay, so are you heterosexual or homosexual?
If I'm heterosexual?
Are you heterosexual or homosexual? Are you part of the LGBYT two-spirit community?
Homosexual.
Okay. All right. So now you identify as male.
No. I identify as a stud, meaning I'm a female who look like a male, but we are not changing nothing of our body. No removing nothing from our body, but we just look very masculine.
Okay. So does this mean that you like men or women or both?
I love women all the way.
Okay. So have you ever been in a relationship with a man?
Oh, definitely. I have 2 kids.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I've known you all these years, and I didn't even know that.
I know.
So what was that like to be married and end up having 2 children? What was that like?
You know what? To be honest, I live for my family, more society-wise. A lot of us who is gay and we don't know how to come out to our family, we tend to pretend, and we tend to, cover up our true self. So I live that. And one of the things I did, because I knew who I was at a very young age, I would say going back, I knew I was gay from since I was like about 10. I knew I was attracted to the other sex, my sex. But along the way, I know I wanted kids. And because I know I wanted kids, I know I had no other choice. And I wanted to make sure that I was not confused. So I knew I wanted kids. And the only way I could have kids, and then coming from the island and coming from a family that is fully Christians all the way, it was very hard to be who you really want to be in the island, because again, in the island, they don't call you gay. They call you lesbians, all kind of names that not exist. Yeah. So I used to hide my sexuality, even though I was attracted to the same sex like myself. I used to hide it just because of my parents. And one day I decided, I say, you know what, I want to have kids. And I met my kid's dad, and I had 2 kids. I told him I needed 2 kids. All I want is 2 kids. I had 2 kids. And after the 2 kids, my daughter is turning 22. My son is turning 26.
Oh my
And,
God.
and I have 3 beautiful granddaughters.
Oh, amazing.
So I am not one of these studs who is gay and hate men. I love men. I embrace men. And after I have my kids, then I have an opportunity to come to Canada. And when I came to Canada, I decided, you know, I have to live for me. I have to start being for me. And then, unfortunately, which turned out to be good, my sister out me.
Oh, those family members are something else, aren't they?
Yeah, my sister out me to my parents.
Oh,
I hidden from my parents some months because not only that I felt like I disappointed them, I
mhm.
felt ashamed of who I was at that point because it bring me back in the stage like, what am I going to tell my kids? How am I going to tell my parents? Is my parents going to love me? Is my parents going to want to, own me as their daughter? How are they going to see me? I was so scared. Every time my parents call, I hide. I never used to want to talk. I haven't talked to them for months until my dad came to Canada, and I was with this woman, and he ended up coming. He stayed at my house, and I was praying to God for the train, for him to catch the train so he would go home.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, he missed the train.
Oh. So now, listen. I want to just go back to your relationship with your husband. Was it a husband or just a
Boy,
hookup or
just,
friend?
no, no, just a boyfriend I had to be with, that I needed to make my kids with. Basically,
Oh,
a
okay.
sperm donor.
Oh, okay. Now, did he ever try to convince you to change?
My kid's dad, when I told him, he was one of the first person I actually came out and said it out of my mouth.
Hmm.
And he tried to convince me in every way. He said, you could be with me and you could have a girlfriend. And I told him, I said, I love you, but it will be unfair. I cannot love you to be with you because
Hmm.
I'm attracted to women. I can't be with you in that way. So he was trying to convince me all over to stay.
Okay. Now, most of us, as Black people, most of us come from some sort of a religious background, like you said, from a Christian background.
Yeah.
And of course, sometimes our aesthetics look differently than what um, sometimes the church would think of as normal. Because I'm sure some of the people in the church knew you were born female, but you look aesthetically like a male.
Yeah,
Today in the LGBYT, spirit pronoun community, they would call you a stud.
definitely.
Now, how did you ever have any opposition? Because I want to be fair
Right.
to the church, and I want to be fair to people that understand that we do go to church, but we need to understand a little bit about, was there any opposition when you walked in the church? Let's say you didn't wear a dress, you wore a suit or something that looked very masculine.
Mhm. I I had no choice. I used to wear dress. Then when I hit I think the first time my parents had an idea that I was gay. I was
Mhm.
going to this wedding and I went to my uncle because my uncle is a tailor, and I said I need a suit. I was 16. He said, what? I said, I need a suit, I need a white jacket, I need a tie, I need boots and everything. And he's like, huh? I said, yeah, just build it for me. He said, okay. The day when I take it home to my mom looked at me, my dad looked at me. He said, that's what you're wearing? I said, yeah. He said, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my
Now,
brother was okay.
now, do you have any brothers and sisters?
I have 2 brothers, three brothers, and I have 3 sisters. I also have a gay sister also here in Canada.
Oh, okay. Now, where are you actually from?
I'm from a beautiful island called St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Okay.
It's in the
So
Caribbean.
that is that is where? In the Caribbean somewhere.
Somewhere in the Caribbean, I can't remember.
Okay.
Near to,
All right.
near to
Now,
Barbados, Trinidad, That's where it is. Down inside it.
Okay, so do you find that are the people open? Are there, first of all, is there an LGBYT community in St. Vincent?
At my time, no. I know it's illegal to still. It's still illegal for you to not, be a part of it. There's a law I think that passed in my country. It's against the law to actually be openly doing anything like holding hand, kissing, and all this stuff. I think in my country now,
Mm-hmm.
it's not legal in my country, but there's a lot of people down there is like that.
Okay, so now that you are considered a stud, so what does that actually mean in terms so we can understand it clearly? What does it actually mean, and how do the women that you are looking at or are attracted to um, approach you? How do they know you're a stud?
A lot of women I'll be honest with you. Only woman hit like me is always straight women. Straight women love me. Lesbian women, I think I'm too masculine.
Well, our community, how do you say, we've been up and down the elevator quite a few times, if
I
you know it.
know, I
Um,
know.
Now, have you ever met a straight woman and she didn't know?
That I was a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had that encounter I think twice, and I had was to actually tell one of the lady. That time I was like now coming out. I was like 26, the first encounter, and we were talking like regular talk, and then you know time to do something. I'm like, well, you know what? I'm a girl, right? I couldn't go forward with it because
Mm-hmm.
for me it was not being fair. I was hiding something but I didn't know at the time how to say it to this person. Because one, this person was attracted to me and I was attracted to the same person. So
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of hard, but then, hey, she understand and we dated for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know those relationships, they come, they go, they come, they go, that kind of way.
So the reason women would be attracted to you is because they would think psychologically in their minds, a stud would represent somebody that is more aesthetically masculine, strong, maybe
Yeah.
somebody that can take,
Yes. And somebody
rear a
who's very,
good kid or take good care of the family and
yeah.
stuff like that. So is that the way women see you?
Women see me as somebody with a lot of stability. And let's not forget, I'm fine.
Oh.
That's not, that's the, that's the, that's the key word. That's the key word right there, right? I'm fine. I have a lot of things going for me. I'm very, I have a lot of stability. I'm out of a lot of people here in the LGBTQ they're not as stable as me. They're not as grounded as me. So most women, when they see what attract a lot of women to me, not just only my good looks and my good smile, is that my personality speaks a lot. My build, a lot of women is drawn by my build. And then conversation wise, when they get to know me and they get to figure out, oh, this person have the as we say, shit together, excuse my language. So that attracts a lot of straight women. A lot of straight women look for stability in people in their relationship, right?
Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you this. This is more on a personal level, and you don't
Definitely,
have to answer it if you don't want to. But I
definitely.
think that this is an interesting question for the average person. Let's just say that the person you're attracted to is Black as well. And have you ever felt any kind of a situation? Have you ever dated another um, a Black woman in the sense of she loved you, you loved her, and she couldn't take you home. She couldn't introduce you to her friends.
Yes, been there, been there, been there, been there. I was her like a secret in her closet.
Okay.
I've been two relationships I've been down the road with like that. Couldn't take me home to the family. Couldn't introduce me to the friends. Was always a secret. So, and it's very difficult. It's very hard for you to be open and this other person is in the closet.
Hmm. Now, it's great that, like you said, we live in Canada. We live in a little bit more of an open society here. And we sort of have a lot of acceptance. And we have a lot of rights that we wouldn't have in a lot of other countries,
Yeah.
including where I come from, the United States. Even though, there's a great movement there and stuff like that. Now, is your father still involved? I mean, not your father, your children's father still involved in their lives?
Yes, my kids' dad and them they still have the relationship.
Hmm. Now, let's just say, what's a typical day like for the Bess family? What is a typical day like? What happens during the day with, let's say, your two kids and all these grandkids, and you're stable, things are going well? What's a typical day like for the
My
family?
my typical day, my kids, or the only one in me living together is my daughter, who's soon to leave, hopefully. My
Okay.
our typical day, I get up in the morning at 5:45. She's still in bed. I leave to go to work, put my dogs out. She takes them in, and I go to work. Come back home about say 6, 7.
Hmm.
Come back home. Maybe my daughter might be home or she gone to work. If she's home, we might have, a little conversation, and I might work out, might go for a walk or something. But my day is very laid back in my house because it's just me and my daughter.
Okay. Now, let's just say, I want to ask just a few more sort of just little personal questions because I think that will
Definitely.
make a difference in some um, of the LGBYT community lives in small towns that can probably relate to how you are and identify with the way you look. And, because a lot of I'm doing a show now in Ireland where they want me to teach a lot of the Black performers how to do makeup because there's nobody there to teach them because apparently
Right.
there's a lot of issues there. So I'm working on that. But what is it that you think is wrong with what has happened? What do you think has happened now that we are in this pandemic? And where does it put you in your workplace?
Okay, for me in my workplace, my job and me, like I, I'm very secure. A lot of people can't say they're secure in the job. I am
Hmm.
one of these person could say my job is very secure because
Hmm.
my bosses and me, we get along very well, and
Hmm.
I'm very straightforward with them, and they know what I like and what I don't like. As I don't know if you ever watch me speak at my live something, I'm very blunt. I I don't stick people crap.
Hmm.
I like when people come straight to me, tell me the truth, and we're good. So that's
Hmm.
that's where me and my company we have this understanding. We are very, very straightforward with each other. So, and I'm good at what I do. We
Hmm.
have had many people that come and I have to train them, and a lot of people come and like I drive for my company, and
Hmm.
people that they send with me on my truck when I'm driving, for instance, they might damage something. I'll take the blame because I
Hmm.
know I could go to them and say, okay, you know what, I damaged this. They're not going to fire me. They might just give me a lecture. Sometimes
Hmm.
the things that they damage, it's very expensive. But I'll
Hmm.
put myself under the bus for them because, this pandemic that's going on,
Hmm.
everybody needs a job.
That's
So
right.
I could deal with my bosses, but these people
Hmm.
can't. So I'll always take the bullet for them. So that's why I said for me, where this put me, I'll tell you what it made me realize. Life is so short and we don't know, what tomorrow bring forth. And we don't know where's the future. And we always have to be prepared for the unexpected. That's what it teaches.
Now, you know, I find that amazing that you did that for them and you understand that people need a job. And that's a good thing. A lot of companies and a lot of other coworkers wouldn't have done that. I take my hat off to you for that, or I take my wig off to you for that. That's amazing. Now, I just want to ask just a few more questions.
Definitely.
Now, what is it, how is it when you meet other Black men that suspect that you are a woman?
Oh, I'll give you, that's a perfect question. When I deal with men all day, every day. Every time I go on a site, I'll meet so much men. Majority of the men that try to give me a hard time is our Black brothers. Always our Black brothers try, because guess why? You're gonna find one or two of them will hit me up, trying to pick me up or whatever, but you know, I have to tell them, listen, I'm looking the same thing you looking. So you looking something what I'm looking at. Like we can't be looking like you can't be looking me because I'm looking for what you're looking for.
I love that.
I tell them all the time, like we're the same boat, man. But what I find, if I go on a job where there's a Black supervisor, he tends to want to give me the hardest time.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is?
I think for Black men, a woman like me, it's a threat, a big threat. It's a huge threat for them. They see a woman like me, and they're like, whoa, not only that she looks like a guy, come on now, I'm cute. I have an amazing smile. I could take your wife, I could take your girlfriend. That's what goes off the head. Hey, I might take her home and she might take my girlfriend or my wife. A lot of Black men is what's the word? They're intimidated by me, if I think I use the right word. I intimidate a lot of Black men because it makes them feel less of a man, I think. I don't know why. Because when I go on a site, I get my stuff done. And the things that I do, Steph, a lot of women can't do it. Even though they like me, they can't do it.
Now, you know, I'm glad that you said that because, you know, sometimes we have a hard time just saying it straight the way it is. And I like the way you said you just want it straight and you want straight talk and you want it just to be just laid out. And that's the way it is. I'm the way too. If somebody don't like something about me, you don't have to talk behind my back. Just tell me. And then we can go from there.
Of course.
It's great that you understand that these men are, you know, you understand them clearly. And that's a good thing from your stud point of view and your female points of view. So it's good to have those two choices because you have a real clear understanding of relationships and how to deal with people on an everyday level, which is a good thing. And sometimes us as the LGBYT two-spirit community, sometimes we get hot-headed when somebody calls us a man, or, I mean, I know lots of the girls that will shut a club down if you call them a man, or somebody, call somebody out of their names. Here comes all the drama.
Yeah.
Are you in a relationship now?
At this present time, not really. Not really. I'm getting to know somebody. Was married, but no longer. We're separated. So now I'm seeing somebody else. So far, so good.
Okay. Now, this is more of a personal question. The same.
Sure.
Do you have any regrets about the decisions you've made to become Jay and like you said, you don't consider yourself a man?
No, I don't consider myself, and I'm not trying to be one. And I put that out there all the time to people. I'm not trying to be a man. I'm not confused. I know I love women, most important. I'm very comfortable in my skin. I like the way how I look. I have no regrets of making the choices that I've made throughout my life, all the journeys that I've taken. with all the different women I've dated, I have no regrets.
Well,
You
you know
can't
what?
bring any regrets.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm the same way. My mother used to always tell me, and now I have this new agent in Los Angeles, and she's an old white lady, and she tells me all the time, don't look back there. Don't look back there. There's nothing back there. You've already been back there, and it hurt you. Just look what's in front of you. Look what's in
Keep
front of you.
moving.
And it took me a long time, and you know, being in this country and in this city, I've been beat up a lot, and you know that.
Yeah,
And as
yeah,
soon as I step out and away from them, things start happening for me better.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
and I'm blessed that I stepped out in enough time to
Mhm.
realize that I'm still healthy enough and still have a drive to get what I want. I'm
Definitely.
glad I didn't let them beat me down until where I didn't have absolutely nothing. But
That's good.
I'm not going back there. I'm
You
not.
don't need to.
So, you know, Jay, it was really interesting talking to you. I hope that the relationship that you have work out well. I think things are going. One more question. It's very important. Now, you say your daughter is how old?
She's turning 22.
Okay, so she's not going. Is she going to school?
She take a break from school. You know, they always want a break. I don't know why.
Okay.
I could never get a break. Why are they getting a break? I don't know.
There might be a boy or a girl somewhere in the wings, if you know what I mean. Now, I just want to say it was great to see that you're a balanced person. And you know, I am glad after all we went through
Oh, yeah.
that we're doing much better these days.
Of course.
God has blessed us. And so
Tremendously.
I just want to say thank you for a great conversation. You cleared up a lot for us. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I just want you to have a blessed week. Congratulations on a potential new relationship, a great job where you understand the people that you work for and they understand you, and the fact that you stood up for a lot of people that needed jobs. I take my wig off to you for that. I take my wig off for the fact that you had the courage to do this show for me, because you know, Black people sometimes don't like to step up. And I'm finding a lot of you guys are sharing your stories with me. So congratulations, Mr. J. Bess Stud. Get you some. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Steph.
It was great
God bless
talking to you, and I will chat with you again. Hold on one second. I'm just going to close it out. Ladies and gentlemen, on the show today, I had Mr. J. Bess. He's from St. Vincent, and he's now living in Canada. He has a 22-year-old daughter that lives with him, and he's doing very well. He has a good job in this trying times of this pandemic, and he's trying to make the best of life, and he's looking maybe for a new relationship. So you ladies out there, look out. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for tuning into the Stephanie Stevens Show. Today we had Mr. Jay Bess on explaining to us what stud meant, part of the LGBYT two-spirit pronoun community. Everybody have a blessed week. Over and out. Thank you guys. Bye-bye. Bye, Jay.
Bye, Steph. Thanks for having me.
You're
Bye.
welcome.